Hi, my name is Rakesh Singh and I welcome you on this jQuery video session. Thank you so much for joining Naresh IT Technologies video session. In this video session, we are going to discuss checkbox example using jQuery functionality part 1. Means how to work with the checkbox with different examples. So in this video session, we will discuss following two examples. Example number 1, checkbox with toggle option to perform any operation based on the true, nothing but checked, and false, nothing but unchecked condition. What do you mean about toggle option? Toggle option means one time to be true and one time to be what? False. So we have discussed earlier, a single checkbox can be used to perform any toggle functionality. Means if user click on the checkbox is going to be checked, that time value will be true, and based upon the true value what operation to be performed on the page. And again if user click on the same checkbox which are already checked, then it is going to be unchecked. So if it is unchecked, value is going to be false. So based upon the false value condition what operation can be performed. That one example we are going to implement with the complete code structure. And example number 2, display the total number of elements and text as well as value of a group of checked checkboxes. Means if we have a group of checkboxes in which what are the checkboxes are checked by the user, that should be display total number of checked checkboxes, and whatever the checkboxes are checked, their text as well as their value to display when user click on a submit button. If a single checkbox is not checked, then it should display a message no checkbox checked. This is the what example we are going to implement. So let us start the first example, working with the checkbox as a toggle option in order to perform any operation based on the true condition and what is it, false condition, nothing but based on the checked condition and not checked condition. So let us go to development environment. I have just come to the Visual Studio development environment where I have an HTML page, HTML page.html. What my requirement is, I am going to keep in my HTML page, nothing but HTML document, one single checkbox, and using that checkbox going to make sure that any picture, nothing but any image to be displayed or not to display. Means one image going to keep on the page, by default it is going to hide. As soon as user say show image for the checkbox, right, then the picture must be appear at runtime. If user say hide image, then the picture must be what is it, hides. So one time checked, then show image, and next time unchecked, then hide image. That is what called as a toggle option. So for this purpose, what I am going to do that, I am going to create one checkbox, input type equals to checkbox, ID equals to chk1, nothing but checkbox 1, any name you can give, and going to be close. Now this checkbox should have their text what to be appear. So for that purpose I just take what, label for which checkbox, chk1, and what label text first time to display what, show image, and below line break, one more line break, and the picture will be appear on the page using the HTML img tag, img id equals to img1 if required, and to display image we use one attribute called src to define the source of image. In my website I have image in one folder called images. So images, and the image name is what, Naresh logo.jpg. This is the name of the image picture which is already present in a website. You can take any image from your system and keep into the any specific folder of your website which you wanted to use to display on the page. This is going to set with some width, because maybe it will have default width and height, maybe bigger, maybe smaller. So I want to just fix with the some specific size, width and height. It's giving 300 and height I am giving 250. After this, I want by default this image should not be displayed to user when the page gets ready first time on at the client side in the browser window. So just setting the style equals to display colon none and going to be close. So these are the my element. This is the input element type of checkbox. It is a checkbox element, has ID chk1, and for this checkbox what text to be appear by using the label, which is going to associate to the checkbox with their ID by using the for attribute, and the text is what show image, label is going to close, right. And we have the img, ID img1, src the path of the image, width is 300, height 250, and style display what none. Fine. Now save it this page. So what is going to happen at present? By default this image is not going to be appear, right. So let me run this page in a browser window without writing any jQuery functionality. So how it is going to come? You just observe that a page will be ready with the HTML document. You can observe that there is one checkbox is appeared here, checkbox, and with the text what show image, and by default image is not displaying on the page. As soon as user say click on the checkbox, is going to be checked. Whenever it gets checked, then here image must be displayed, and if user say again unchecked, then image must be hide. This is what called toggle option, means one time to be checked and one time to be what unchecked. Whenever it is going to checked, that time true. So based upon true what operation to be happen, and again if user click on the checkbox and if it is going to unchecked, nothing but false. So when the false condition happen, then what operation to be performed. So I just want to perform the operation in this example showing picture and hiding the picture. You may perform any different operation also based upon the same true condition and what is it, false condition. So for this we will write the jQuery code. So script file reference is available, a script section available, document.ready event is registered, right. So what is the requirement? As soon as checkbox is going to be checked, so first select dollar of what is it, hash chk1 dot event called what, change, because checkbox is going to be checked. So one time checked state, again if you click is going to be unchecked state. So there is state checked or unchecked is getting changed. So we have to handle what event, change event. Change event of what is it, function, going to be open body and close the body. So this event function is going to trigger whenever checkbox is going to be clicked to change the state, either checked either what, unchecked. So now in this we'll write if condition, right, dollar of current element in which event is getting fired, that is what this, dot is method of selector colon checked equals to true. Means what? If the current checkbox on which change event is fired is checked, returns true, true equals to true, yes, then here something to be happen. Even though if you do not write equals to true, then also by default it checks for what is it, true only. But to make you to understand, I have just mentioned what equals to true. What to be happen? Dollar of hash img1 means selecting one image element with their ID called img1 dot just show method call, because picture is already hide. So when that is going to be checked, the picture must be shown by using jQuery function calling what, show method. And else part, if it is not checked, return false, false equals to true, no. So in that case condition became false, come to else part, dollar of hash img1 dot what is it, hide, nothing but to be disappear from the screen. So if it is checked then show, if it is not checked means unchecked, then must be what, hide. Simple example with simple coding structure. Now come to the browser, refresh the page, right. So in this page by default image is not showing. As soon as user say what, show image, so must be here display what is a picture. So click on the show image, you can observe that there is one Naresh IT logo is available, it is going to display and it is a checked. Again if you click here unchecked this checkbox, so this must be what, disappear from the screen, nothing but hide from the screen. So click on the checkbox, unchecked, it is hide. Now in this example I want to add one more functionality. What functionality? If user say show image, so image is going to shown, right. Once image is shown, then here the text should not be appear as show image because already image has shown. So the text of the checkbox which we have defined using label must be changed immediately after showing the picture, means after showing the image, what, hide image. So that once picture shown and here text is about hide image, user can understand, oh again if I click on that it is going to hide image, and as soon as image is hides, then again the text must be changed to what, show image. So that functionality also I would like to add in the same example. So how we'll do that? So in order to change the text, we are going to handle the label which is associated with the what, checkbox, by using the what, for attribute with their id value. So need to find out this label which is associated with the what, checkbox with their id value by using what, for attribute, and change their text with what, other text. So here what you do that, once image shown, after that you will be writing what, dollar of what is it, label in a square bracket, what is it, for equals to what is it, chk1, right. You can put in single quote their value, close, right. So you are selecting what, label for equals to, for is attribute, what value, chk1, means it selected particular label element which uses a for attribute with the value what, called chk1 dot, there is a method called text of what, text hide image, and once it is a hide, then same select the label element dollar of what is it, label for attribute equals to, in that value chk1 square bracket close dot text of what, text, show image. Done that. Now save it and come to the browser window, refresh page once again, right. There is no picture available on the screen. It is asking me to click here to show image. So user is going to click on the checkbox to show image. Image is shown now, yes, and you can observe that after image showing, the text is no more show image, now text is appear with what, hide image, because image already shown. So next job is what, user may look forward hide image once again. So now by seeing this text, user can understand, oh I need to hide image if I click on that. So again if I click on that, image is going to hide, image hide, as soon as the text again change to what, show image, because it is unchecked, means again if user want to show image, user has to click to checked, then only image is going to show. So one time show image and again click on that, going to hide image. This is the one of the best example to understand how to work with the checkbox as toggle option to perform any operation based on their true condition and the what, false condition, right. Now moving to the example number 2, display the total number of elements and the text value of a group of checked checkboxes when a user click the submit button, and if a single checkbox is not checked, then please display a message no checkbox checked on the page. So till now we have worked with only one checkbox. Let us start to work with a group of checkbox with this requirement to fulfill. So come to develop environment. These all code just I would like to remove now, right. Document ready as it is, let it be. And here this also removed. I am going to create one user interface to say select languages like C language, C++, Java, means which are the languages you like, you select. You may like one language, you may like what, multiple language on which you want to work on that. So select languages, line break, and I have those languages option in the form of checkbox. So input type equals to checkbox, ID I am giving chk1, and I'm going to use your value. You know very well every HTML element uses an attribute value that is not used to display to user, it is for internal operation with the what, our web application. So if you require to use value, then only you can use, as it is not mandatory, but do not show to user, it is for internal use with our application in order to perform any operation with the what, client to server, server to client. So I am just using value. Here I am giving what, visual C hash is a value. But for this checkbox, what text to be appear? Any text to be appear. I am going to make it what appear, visual C hash, full complete name, by using label. So label, this label for whom? This label for whom? chk1, and the what text? Visual C hash. Just beside one more input element, type of checkbox, ID equals to chk2, and value I am giving vv. Below label for which one? chk2, and what the label? Visual basic. One more I am going to have one checkbox by using input type checkbox, ID chk3, value equals to visual f hash, right, and going to be close. And for this label for whom? chk3, and what the label text? Visual f hash, right. 3 checkbox options are there. But what I am missing here, I want to make these all 3 checkboxes to be placed on a HTML page in one specific group, and grouping is possible by using one attribute called name attribute, which I am missing in this all checkbox element. So I want to make these all 3 checkbox belong to a one group. So for that purpose, this input element going to use one attribute name, what is that, language, and here I am going to use name equals to language, and here also name equals to language. Means I created a group called language in which 3 checkboxes are defined. So user may select multiple languages, user may select any one language, any 2 languages. Means they may wish to work with the what, these all 3 languages. So whenever they wanted to work with these all 3 languages, it means they should have a provision to select all 3 languages, and that is possible by using what, checkbox, not radio button, please remember. Fine, define that. Below I am just going to keep one line break, one more line break, input type equals to, either you can use submit button, either you can use button. I am going to use here button now, because I do not have requirement to submit this form with data to server right now. So whenever you need to submit the form with entire data to the server, then you prefer to work with what, input type equals to submit. If you want to perform every operation only at client side only, no need to submit to the server, then in that situation best option to go with what, input type equals to button, because do not make any post back. And value I am giving what is that, submit only, and their ID equals to what, btn1, and it is going to be close, right. Just below line break, one more line break, I am going to have any other element like a div element or paragraph element in which display the result if user click on the submit, what are the check boxes are selected, nothing but checked. So I just use div id div what is it result, and it is going to be closed. This is what defined. There is no jQuery code present. Let us execute this page by launching in the browser window. Fine, this is our user interface is appeared. Now user say I wish to work with the what C# language, Visual Basic language, Visual FS language. It means they should have provision to select all these three options. Select two languages, right? Once user click on submit, so how many checkboxes are selected? Nothing but checked, those should display. Two checkboxes are selected or two languages are selected, and what are their text and what are their values, both to be displayed downmost of the submit button. So for that purpose required what jQuery code. So what we'll do here, observe. When we require this all operation to be performed, when user click on the what submit button, so every code inside what button click dollar of hash btn1 dot what is it click of what is it function body open close. What requirement now? To find out how many checkboxes are checked and what are their text, what are their values. These all can happen if at least any checkbox, at least any one checkbox is checked among the group of checkbox. Then only, otherwise cannot be happen. Then here what will do that? We will write condition if dollar of input colon checkbox, right, name equals to language, means we are selecting all input element type of checkbox which have the group name equals to what language, right, name equals to language. You can put in single quote, it's close, right, dot is method of selector colon what is it checked, means what, if anyone is checked in this group of checkboxes then returns true, and if true you can write here equals to what is it true, or do not write, then also by default what is it checks for true only. If true, then only find out how many are there and what are their text, what are their values. Otherwise else part simply I display a message in which you want display a message in div result. So dollar of what is it hash div result dot HTML method I am going to use, because I want to display some text as HTML text with some style. So div result of in a bold b tag style equals to color colon what is it red, and going to close message no checkbox checked, and after that b tag is going to be closed. Simple message, no checkbox checked, or any message no languages are checked. So just message no checkbox checked in a bold form with what color red. If it is anyone is checked, maybe one checked, maybe two checked, maybe all three checked, then find out what are the checked. So here what I write that I simply do what, nothing but where, right, chkd count variable, means how many are checked counting equals to dollar of input colon checkbox name equals to language colon checked, means all input element type of checkbox name equals to language, and those must be what checked, dot what is it length, right. So it's counted. So we got the length of the number of checkboxes which are what is it checked into this group, stored into this variable. Now after this we want to get the all checked checkboxes value as well as their what is it text, both I want, or anyone you can print, but I want to show you both how to print. So one variable I am taking here where values equals to empty and where right text equals to empty, two variable. In one I will store values, in second I store what is it text. Then here write what you will write that dollar of input colon checkbox name attribute value equals to what language colon checked, which are checked, dot each method we are going to iterate over the all checked checkbox element in a group and then going to find out each checkbox one by one and getting their value as well as getting their text, going to concatenate those values into this variable values and text and then finally display into div result. So for that purpose we are going to use what each method used to iterate over a collection of items. So each of what is it function body open and close, right. So is going to iterate over the what only checked checkbox elements. In this values plus equals to each element one by one, that is a current element dollar of this. So dollar this means what current element, which current element from this collection the first checkbox which are checked, then second checkbox, then third checkbox, and for each checkbox element we have what is it value. So simply how to get value, this dot what is it val plus I just wanted to concatenate with the what comma separator, or you can concatenate with the what any line break as per your need. So what I will do that line break I will use that all into new lines, fine, done that. I want to get the text also. Point to be noted, in order to get text for any input element there is no text attribute available. Text we are defining to the checkbox by using the what label, and each label associate with the what particular checkbox ID. So this text we would like to fetch. So for this purpose what you write here text plus equals to what is it dollar of label, you have to find out label for equals to means you find out one label which uses an attribute for and their value must be the ID of particular checkbox which is what checked. So how to know which checkbox checked? In this iteration each checkbox can be fetched as a current element using what dollar this and get their what is it ID attribute value. So dollar of label for equals to right plus concatenate dollar of what is it this dot attr is a method used to get the attribute value of any specified attribute. So attr of which attribute ID and going to close. So dollar of label for equals to dollar this dot attr of ID means for the current element for ID attribute what value is there that we are going to fetch by using what attr method that concatenate to this label for equals to. After this plus this square bracket must be what closed, right, and then this bracket must be what is it close, this one label for written after this close. So here you can define dot the method called what is it text plus line break I want, right. In order to get the text of the label, we have a method called what is it, text. So what you are doing, that text plus equals to dollar of label for equals to the ID of the each checkbox in this iteration. We don't know what ID is there, means what ID value, because among the 3 checkbox only 2 checked, only 1 checked, or all 3 checked, we don't have any idea as a developer. So at runtime I'm going to decide by finding the what, each element which are coming as a current element, dollar of this dot attr of what is it, ID, get their value of ID, and then getting the text. Fine. In this iteration we'll get the values and get the text. After the iteration over, just display. So dollar of what is it, hash div result dot html of what display, it should display number of elements, that is chkd count. So here chkd count plus, right, 1 space and then display plus what is it, checkboxes checked, means in this if coming 2, so 2 checkboxes checked, that should display. After that line break, right. After this what, in a b tag, selected languages, b tag close, line break, in the b tag what display, text, and b tag is what, close, and the new line, line break plus concatenate what is it, text. After that new line you can put, and after the what is it, b tag values, b tag close, right, plus values, semicolon. So observe once again, all the result I am displaying in what, this div result, div which have id div result dot html, chkd count plus 1 space checkboxes checked, means how many checkboxes checked in new line, one in bold format, selected languages, or I can say checked languages, you can say if you want a more clear, checked languages, b tag close, in new line, right, text, those checked languages what text available in new lines, what is it, text, and values what available, the values must be display. Save it, come to the browser, refresh the page. Now you can observe any one language is checked, not checked, user click on submit, should display no checkbox checked, display no checkbox checked. If user select one language, nothing but user check one language, Visual C Sharp, right, Visual Basic, then click on submit, display 2 checkbox checked, and checked languages are nothing but their text and their values to display. Submit, you can observe 2 checkboxes checked, checked languages, text, Visual C Sharp, Visual Basic, values, Visual C Sharp and VB, this display new line. So after values put a new line break, after values here just press what is it, just write what, new line break, right. Now click on the what, third select, click on the submit, you can observe that, right, 3 checkbox checked, right. Here I have just refresh the page, check, click on the submit, 3 checkboxes checked among this group, checked languages, their text, Visual C Sharp, Visual Basic, Visual F hash, and the values VC hash, VV, Visual F hash. All these values are not appear to display, it is internally there, but we are able to fetch. So this is the way how to identify what are the checkboxes are checked in a group and how many checkboxes are checked and what are their text values as well as their values. So text means this is what appeared to user, and values means what already there in the checkbox element by using value attribute which is not shown to user, but maybe it can be used for internal operation with the web application that we are finding and we are going to display over here. So this is all about today video session. We'll continue this video session with some more examples of checkbox in the next video session. Thanks for watching. Keep watching Naresh IT Technologies video session and subscribe more for getting more video.